North of border we go. Game 1 of the World Series. It's the Blue Jays hosting the Dodgers, and they've got a rookie on the mound, and Trey Yesavage. Let me just say, the atmosphere was not surprisingly electric in Toronto. First batter of the game, Shohei Ohtani. Yesavage got him. Mom and dad there to see it. They are also, perhaps not surprising, fired up. Yesavage retired the side. Bottom of the inning is Blake Snell, and he has been so good. Bases loaded, though, in 2 outs. Dalton Varsho to center. End the inning. So Snell was in a jam. He got out of that one. There. Emphasis on there. To the second we go. Still no score. Kike, do you love me? Hernandez, base hit out the middle. Score 1. And Teoscar Hernandez. Dodgers strike first. It's 1-0. Top of the third. Still 1-0. 2 runners on for Will Smith. Does he slap this, or does he get jiggy with it? I think that's just a slap. Mookie Betts comes in to score. Dodgers now extend their lead. It's 2-0. To the 4th. Runner on for Varsho. And Varsho is afraid of nothing. 423 feet of we need a new baseball. Score 2, start the game over, because we tied. Look at the fans. 2 for you, 2 for you. If you thought that was wild, let me tell you a story about the 6th inning. Bottom of, still tied. Snell on the mound, excuse you. 2 runners on for Varsho. Full count. Now the bases are loaded because Varsho was hit in the shoulder. Snell taken out of the game after 100 pitches. Emmett Shaheen. Sheehan facing Ernie Clement. Score 1, base hit up the middle. It's now 3-2. You're like, oh, you can come back from that. Until they added more, it's now 5-2 for Addison Barger. Barger with the bases loaded. Nobody run too quickly. There is no need. Just trot. Pinch hit grand slam.
Wow.
The first one in World Series history. And it is now 9-2. Don't blink, because now it's Alejandro Kirk at the plate with a runner on. He too is just leaving. Blue Jays extend this with 9 runs in the 6th inning. 9.
Seems like a lot.
Third most in an inning in World Series history. That made it 11-2. Okay, so what could Shohei do? Top of the 7th, he's got an immediate answer. Gone. 2-run homer. And just like that, the Dodgers cut into that lead 11-4. Problem is, that was the only thing that the Dodgers could do after that. Top of the 9th, 2 outs. Eric Lauer on the mound facing Betts again. Betts, what can you do in this situation? It'd be great if you could do something. Answer is no, he cannot. End it. Blue Jays take game 1, 11-4. Here's Buster Olney.
Get off this kind of start in game 1.
I mean, thank God we win the first one, but to us it's one game at a time. We flush this one, and we come tomorrow and try to win tomorrow.
You face an accomplished pitcher in Blake Snell, 100 pitches, got through only 5 innings, 22 foul balls. What do you think of your at-bats against him?
I mean, it's great at bat, you know. That's what we do, man. We battle. We believe in everybody behind us, and I feel so proud, man, to win the first game in the World Series here.
The Dodgers took the lead in this game, 2-0, and then Dalton Varsho with a 2-run homer. In that moment, how important was that?
I mean, it's really important. You know, like I said, we believe in everybody in here. Everybody knows what we have to do to win some games, and I feel so proud with this team, man. I feel so good to be part of this team right now.
You guys came into the World Series big underdogs. How much have you talked about that amongst yourselves and use it?
I mean, you know, that's everything got different fans, you know, and to us, like I said, we play today and we flush, and tomorrow we're trying to come again and win.
Play in the 9th inning, looked like you might have picked off Ohtani. What was going through your mind?
I point to the dugout and I say do not challenge, because I know he put the hand before I tie him, but they trying to get the chop, and you know, we're trying to make it out, the last out, no matter what happens.
Dodgers on the road, game 1 of the World Series. Pretty bad. But then you've got the Blue Jays. They're 9-4 all-time in World Series games in game 1. That is the best record of any team in Major League Baseball history.
Joined now by Doug Glanville. And Doug, there's so many places to discuss this game, but I think I want to start where I feel like Dodger fans will start.
Okay.
And they want to know why Blake Snell was in the game as long as he was. Because, I mean, to his credit, he has been dealing in the postseason for L.A. But at that moment, a lot of pitches and every other pitch feel like another runner got on.
Well, and the thing is, Blake Snell has taken a big step this postseason to establish that he can get himself out of jams. He is the guy that can go.
He did it earlier in the game.
He's done it this series, this entire postseason. So they're looking for that opportunity to say, okay, well, you know, put us in a better position to set up our bullpen. And they just didn't get there. I mean, his command wasn't there. And look, the Blue Jay team is really difficult because they put the ball in play. They don't strike out. They're going to make hard contact. You have to field, and you're going to get foul ball after foul ball. So he relies on swing and miss.
Yeah.
He relies on chase, and if they're not doing it, his pitch count will go up. So in the fifth inning, he was kind of done.
Also, you said something kind of key there. Put us in a better position to set up our bullpen.
Yes.
Why is that something the Dodgers need to worry about?
Well, there's certainly question marks in their bullpen, especially when they have to cover 5 innings, 4 innings. They can do better, certainly at the back end when they have 8 and 9. And these starters have given them that depth, but this game they did not. So now you got to go to Sheehan, Banda, other guys. Bessie is not there.
Right.
It changes the complexion of usage, and all of a sudden, if you overtax them, and Sheehan came in and kind of gave it up 3 hitters in a row, now all of a sudden you see this 9-run inning.
New on SportsCenter, Dave Roberts talking to the media right now following this loss in Game 1 of the World Series.
What do you think about it in your first look at it?
Actually, they're a lot as far as putting the ball in play like the Brewers. I just thought tonight Blake just didn't have good fastball command. He was working deeper counts. When he had count leverage, you really couldn't put him away because they were putting the ball in play. And, there were just a couple bad walks in there. But you got to give those guys credit. They certainly fought.
Second row, your left, Doc. Jack.
Just kind of what did you see go wrong in the 6th inning, both with Blake and then the guys out of the pen?
It's just, Bichette's a tough guy to walk. You walk him, then Kirk does what he does, shoots the hole, and then, you walk Varsho. And, right there, that was going to be his last hitter, Varsho, but obviously he put Emmett in a tough spot. And, then he gets strike 1 on Clement, then breaking ball's a little bit higher, and then, the change up to Jimenez was a big hit, and then obviously trying to keep the game close, and Barger hits a hanging slider. So we just didn't make pitches when we needed to keep that game close.
Obviously, Emmett and Anthony specifically, given the state of the pen, are probably going to have big roles to play this series. Is it concerning to see them kind of struggle like they did in that inning right there? Or how do you need them to bounce back?
They need to bounce back. I wouldn't say concerning. I mean, Anthony's been very good for us, and he left a breaking ball up. But, with the construct of the pen, we're going to need them. And so we got a long way to go, a lot of baseball, but they certainly got to make good pitches.
Any questions for Doc? Go to Ron up front.
Having done this several times, would you prefer to go straight into it without the week layoff looking back?
Honestly, I really don't think the week layoff had anything to do with tonight. I really don't. We were rested. I thought we were in a good spot. We had a 2-0 lead, and then Varsho hits a homer, and, we didn't pitch well after that. So I really, honestly, Ron, don't think that had anything to do with it.
Go back to Jack.
Just with the offense, what's kind of missing in your guys' inability to turn some of those scoring chances into bigger innings like you were, earlier coming in down the stretch of the regular season?
Yeah, there was just, and I think even, you look back at, last couple of weeks, there's some pivotal at-bats that can flip games that I think that we can be better at. At times I think that the offense looks great as far as building innings. But there's some key at-bats that, you got to win pitches. And
Very matter-of-fact assessment there from Dave Roberts.
Been around the block.
Exactly, been around the block. Won World Series. No, this is just Game 1. It's not a big deal. But he said he wasn't concerned necessarily about his bullpen, even though he said they do need the bounce back. In what ways, if you're Dave Roberts, do you need to find some security with that bullpen?
Success breeds success. And there's no question that if you're used to the starting pitchers being able to give you 7 innings, then it changes how you use that bullpen. Now they don't have to cover as many outs. And so there was moments where it was a little shaky in the Brewers series, but they ended up executing because they just had less to cover. And so you lean a lot on your starters because that is their strength. Now, if you go back a year ago, that was a team that relied on starting pitching in a different way. The relievers covered it. The starters were hurt and injured, and they only had 2.5 guys. But for the most part, this year, it's about that depth. So they're going to have to find guys that execute. Sheehan didn't do it. Bonda didn't do it. So they're hoping next game they go a little deeper and then give them that day off as they travel back to Los Angeles.
They do have Yamamoto on the mound tomorrow, and we know what he did the last time. It was the complete game, and Gosman's throwing for the Blue Jays, who we've not even talked about yet. They won this game. They scored, 6 runs? My math is off here. They scored 6 runs. Nine runs in the sixth.
6 and 9.
6 and 9.
6, 7.
Stop it right now.
Sorry, couldn't help it.
That offense, we've seen it at times before be so incredibly powerful, but they got it from maybe some unexpected places. Yeah. What impressed you the most when you watched them tonight?
And because that is kind of their brand, like their ability to have matchups. For example, they'll have a lefty come in or a righty, and they don't lose anything. Sometimes you have these platoons, lefty-righty, where you know one guy is very offensive, and then it's like, okay, we got to think defense. They have a lot of guys that can produce offensively and defensively. So they don't thin out as you typically would at the bottom of their order. And they all have kind of this mindset of like, we're going to make contact, we're going to put the ball in play, and we're going to create chaos on the bases, first to third, pressure. So if you don't execute and catch the ball against them, they're just going to keep coming at you. And tonight, the exclamation point was the home run. The fact that they put up the crooked number, they had the quick strike with Varsho to come back. And that's what you need against a guy like Blake Snell, because he can kind of look bumpy, but then you look up, it's still a 0 on the scoreboard. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you get a home run. Now it's like, okay, now we're back in this. So this is what the Blue Jays did all year. They caught the ball, they ran the bases, and they put the ball in play, and then you have to execute. Part
of the chaos, obviously, was the grand slam in that inning.
Oh, yeah.
So new on SportsCenter.
Speaking of,
the guy who hit it, Addison Barger.
Addison, the first pinch hit grand slam in World Series history. What do you think?
It's pretty surreal. I mean, right now it's kind of just an amazing moment for the team and for me. I don't know how to feel right now.
Tell me what that was like to play in a World Series.
I mean, it's a dream come true, like everybody says, and but just trying to stay cool and calm, but not freak out on this big stage like it is. But I was just super excited that we got the dub.
You guys faced a 2-time Cy Young Award winner in Blake Snell, 100 pitches over 5 innings, 22 foul balls. What do you think your at-bats against?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a testament to the kind of team we have. That's kind of the stuff we've been doing all year. We might not score up every pitch he throws, but we're going to work some at-bats and put the ball in play, and ultimately got him out of the game pretty early.
As you know, they're the defending champions. You guys come in as big underdogs. How much have you guys talked about that amongst yourselves?
We don't talk about that at all, to be honest with you. We just go out and play our game.
And when we think about them, we obviously think of Vlad because he was MVP of the LCS. We think of George Springer and all those home runs. But in terms of balanced offense all the way 1 through 9, how does this stack up when you look at the Dodgers, which can be at times top-heavy?
Yeah, they stack up really well because they can bring guys off the bench and not lose anything. I mean, that's a huge asset because it allows you to say, all right, what's the weakness of the pitcher that's coming in the ball game, and then come in and counter him with a lefty or a righty, depending on the circumstance. So they do that really well. I mean, it's Clement, it's Lucas, it's Barger. I mean, these guys have done it all season long. And when Bichette was out, guys got opportunities to come in and get some at-bats and be battle-tested. And now the stage is kind of a little quieter for them. So they've done this all year. And as you mentioned, #1 in batting average, 3rd in slugging in the season. I mean, they were #1 in strikeout rating, meaning the lowest. So they put the ball in play. This is their game. And once they catch the ball on defense, then there's a lot of pressure, especially when you're on the road like the Dodgers, to execute.
Was there anything that happened in this game that made you rethink how this series is going to play out?
Well, just the 9-run inning. That was the exclamation point, because you get Blake Snell, who's been untouchable, out of the game. Then you bring in the bullpen, and then you get to those guys, I mean, quickly. And you hit for power. And it was guys like Barger who came off the bench. I mean, that is like the whole floodgate in your face about everything they can do. And they did it in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
so,
it escalated quickly.
So that's well, wait a minute, they can explode. So when you have an explosive offense that also can chip away, I mean, that is something you have to reckon with, because you have to pitch. and you have to get outs. And if you don't, this is what they can do. So it's a different climate now. And they went 7 games. I mean, they were up against the wall. The Dodgers have been chilling. I know Dave Roberts said that,
He
but
said the rest,
it's
yeah.
like, you know, it's 7 days. I mean, I know for me, if I didn't hit for 3 days, my swing felt a little bit funky. So, you know, it's something they'll have to overcome. But, you know, at least they go back to L.A. and maybe that's their shot.
Yep. More reaction from Toronto, new on SportsCenter. Here's the Blue Jays manager, John Schneider.
So much credit to the guys up and down the lineup being ready to come into the game. You know, they were ready during BP, you know, talking to Nate, talking to Izzy, Addy. Those at-bats in that inning, starting with Bo's walk, then a knock, you know, it kind of just kept on going. But those were some pretty terrific at-bats from everyone up and down the order, yeah.
Same row, Gregor.
John, your calling cards all year has been making pitchers work. Just wondering how much of that played into what do you think happened in kind of like later on, because you guys really forced a lot of deep counts on Snell early.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it earlier. You know, Varsh just missed a breaking ball, I think, in the first, you know, but it's 29 pitches. You made him work, not a lot of swing and miss. It's kind of what we wanted to do against him. And then hopefully sooner or later he makes a mistake, and then Varsh capitalized, you know, and then in the 6th there, just really good at bats, you know, and then carried it over into their bullpen. So it was really a good approach from everyone today. And then you got to get ready for tomorrow against another really tough pitcher.
3rd row on your left, Keegan.
John, you've seen big innings before, but given the stage of the World Series, what was it like for you personally to see Barger's big moment and how the rest of that inning played out?
Man, that was I was just talking to Max, who's been through basically everything, and just hearing him say, you know, never really felt an inning like that, you know, in the World Series. My vantage point was pretty cool, you know. I mean, Nate's at bat to work a walk after being down 0-2. You know, Himmy gets the hit, and then, you know, I'm trying to force a lefty there. It's 1 out. You know, you trust Barge to have a good approach to hopefully hit a sac fly, then you get Vladdy against Banda. And Barge, man, he didn't budge. He was ready to go and hit a mistake pitch. So that was a little bit more than what we could have hoped for. But that inning, to watch those guys navigate that was pretty cool.
Look, this game was obviously decided in the 6th inning when Toronto went off like they did, and they were able to break through. How were they able to get to the Dodgers pitching staff the way that they did?
You know, honestly, 100 pitches from Blake Snell through 5 innings. I mean, that was it, Nicole. I mean, you think about those at-bats, and I know it's not the sexy stuff, the grand slam you end up seeing in the 6th inning, but ultimately, it's what they did in innings 1 through 5 to get Blake Snell out of the game and get into the biggest weakness that we've talked about this entire time, and that's that Dodgers bullpen. So their ability, I mean, look at guys like Alejandro Kirk, who had 17 pitches in his first 2 at-bats. I mean, working counts. You're talking 0-2 to 3-2 to walks, foul balls, like all of those things matter. When Blake Snell's all of a sudden at 100 pitches there in the 6th, he comes out of the game, and the Blue Jays scored 9 runs because of it.
They've also now won 3 games in a row. That's like home postseason wins. It's the most since they've had since 1992. And that big one was obviously Game 7 in the LCS just to get to this point. And because they played 7, there were some people who had written this team off before this series against the Dodgers even started. So what statement did Toronto make tonight?
Nicole, I mean, yes, that's exactly what this was. It was a statement game. I mean, you think about, first of all, the fact that the Dodgers are literally the Goliath of Goliaths. I mean, all of the names, all of the numbers, the money, everything. They got Shohei, Toronto didn't, but the fact remains is Toronto has been doing something that the Dodgers playing out have not been doing. The underlying story is the offense. The Toronto Blue Jays can hit the ball, but they do it because they put the ball in play and they have the slug. The Dodgers, they only had 6 hits this game, Nicole, and when you think about their offense this postseason, yes, they've been pitching, but their offense has not shown up with the big names that you think about. We think about Shohei's 3 home runs in Game 4, but outside of that, he has struggled. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, those names have not done what we are expecting from them this postseason.
All right, Jessica Mendoza. You notice Jessica's voice?
Yeah.
A little bit crackly, maybe from having to speak over that environment in Toronto. A little bit
loud
loud in there. We'll see you for Game 2.
It's crazy out here.
I know.
Center. Let's hear from Blake Snell after his Game 1 loss.
You know what I mean? mean? And I think he has a great back.
What were you seeing as they were navigating through their lineup, how they were able, I know you talked about their ball, bat-to-ball contact, but what were you seeing with them today?
Yeah, I mean, learned a lot. I wasn't locating the ball. I mean, it's pretty simple. Command with the fastball wasn't great. Really change up, I couldn't locate that either. And then the last inning there, I mean, yeah, I locate that pitch all the time and then walk Bo, and I know what I can do and get an out there. So just frustrating, but learned a lot. Still confident, I know what I can do, I know who I am. And then a mistake to Varsho, fastball down the middle. Just a tough game, but a lot to learn.
A game like this, is this one that you all just look to flush away and try to move forward, understanding it's a veteran group and you guys are in a position where game 2 is only tomorrow and you can reset?
Yeah, I mean, we're confident. We know how good we are. But, you know, it was a tough game, and then they came out swinging. They had a better game, and, you know, it's 4 games. You got to win 4. So, yeah.
Did you feel a little too strong after the break? I mean, as long as you've gone without throwing.
We're back on SportsCenter. Doug Glanville is with us. Game 2 is tomorrow night.
Yep.
What are you expecting? We've got Kevin Gausman on the mound, Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. What did we learn tonight that will carry over?
Well, it's an excellent pitching matchup for sure. And Yamamoto is really precise. You talk about controlling all of your pitches. So you're not going to get that walk you might get sometimes from Snell. You got someone who's going to be more like, okay, you like to make contact, I'm going to make you have weak contact. And Yamamoto has a lot of pitches, a splitter, big fastball, curveball. He commands all of it. So a little different approach, but I think there'll be a lot of balls in play. Now, the risk for the Blue Jays, if someone who's around the plate, you start making contact and they turn into outs, he's going to have like 12 pitches after the first inning. You know, it's going to be efficiency for him. So he's a little tougher to get out on his own mistakes. Now, on the other side, Gausman, established pitcher, pitched a long time, is really their ace. This guy with the stuff, and he's got the experience. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I look at the pitching matchup because the same story holds. Get into that bullpen, whichever side, but particularly now the Dodgers have to bounce back, and that creates all the question marks.
Yeah, and they got to do it on the road, hopefully even the series from their perspective and go back home for a couple games there. Doug Glanville, appreciate it as always, man.
All right, my pleasure, guys.